Picture this. A storm sweeps over the earth, sucking up words, letters, and syllables. All of these tumbling in confusion, clouds and alphabets. The drone of earthlings desperate to make sense of the word fragments drowns out all noise. Without print or speech, the world starts to shut down. People misunderstand one another. Violence breaks out everywhere, wiping out all but a few. For the survivors who can't read, it's the world before fire. Dark, lonely, and violent. An exaggeration? Maybe. But this turmoil goes on inside the millions who can't read. Forget statistics. Illiteracy is about people, survival, and public health. A few of us got together to make short films about our reading problems. This is my little film about things I've learned and experienced, sort of through not being able to read very well. And I'd draw a few pictures to maybe help you illustrate it and help you understand a little better. Hi, my name is Andrew.
I wanted to make this movie to help other kids that couldn't read. Can be reading.
When did you first suspect that Talia had a reading problem?
Well, I would have to say coming from school.
I guess the first picture is of school. Teachers, I don't think, sometimes mean to make fun of people who can't read well. And it really gets tough. Really, I remember a lot of the times I just try to always take the back desk, keep my head down, keep my hand down, and keep my mouth shut.
The teacher's saying, well, there might be a problem here. She's not developing with the class.
Because school is tough and everyone's trying to look for a way to fit in. And anyone who doesn't at all really gets ripped to pieces.
I had to read in front of the class. And I tried to read this really, really hard book, and I'm like saying weird kind of words, and they're following it with me.
I like to play with my, what does it say? I can't read it. Third grade and you can't read.
They all started laughing and pointing, and after that day I had spots all over me. Because I was depressed. Had
Hives.
I used to say, I'm dumb, I'm not smart. I'd hit myself too. My brain would be like twisted and twisted, and it'd be spinning and spinning and spinning. I couldn't find like the button to stop it.
Some people don't want to be laughed at. And they just sort of decide that maybe the human race isn't such a great thing after all.
I had trouble reading. It was scary. I couldn't read anything.
And they don't want to be sort of talked to or associated with.
It made me want to run away from home. Chris, Mom said you can read this if you try. Come on, I want to have the story. This, what does it say here, Chris? I don't like this book. Why is it too hard for you? No.
I try to read, but I'd get frustrated. I would just keep on throwing the books around and throw tantrums.
Sometimes I'd help him hide just because I understood how he felt reading and the frustration and him crying. So he'd hide and my dad would look for him and we'd end up finding him. He just didn't really want to read. And sometimes it was funny because he could get out of reading by hiding.
Never again, never again.
I think every person who can't read or read well has done an isolation phase. Because again, it's just easier not to deal with it and just to disappear. So much rage, so much hate that you just need to lash out and strike something.
The problems with Joe not learning how to read didn't end at school. When he came home, there were times all throughout the afternoon and the evening that were frustrating for him and for the rest of us.
You're asking if you're the single player, so your single player is to select that one.
Okay, now what?
What does it say?
Just tell me, what does it say?
He was expected to read certain things, and he couldn't do it. And he expected to be able to read certain things, and he couldn't do it. So there was constant tension in the family.
It made me get angry, do my little tantrums and kind of be violent, I guess. And it was just hard. That was the stressful part. That was the frustrating part.
Having problems with reading is bigger than just not being able to read.
What? I gotta do it again? I I just can't read it.
It has a much bigger effect on the child, on their self-esteem, and the way they feel about themselves.
I became the tough guy, the goon, the brute, punk rocker, the scary guy that walks down the halls. You look tough, you dress tough, because you want to be left alone, but you still want to sort of be seen. You don't want to disappear. But you definitely, over all things, don't want anyone to laugh at you. Once someone laughs at you, you gotta beat them up. And you gotta beat them up pretty darn bad, so no one else will laugh at you. What have we seen so far? School's a nightmare, agitated families, kids thinking they're rejects, hiding, fighting. This isn't healthy. But we get help. It has to do with the brain processing letters and sounds, instruction to help this process. Once we realize that letters have sounds, oh, darn it, I lost my place, I'm sorry. Once we realize, okay, do you want me to just keep going? Yeah. Words have letters, and letters have sounds. Our brains put it all together. We break the code of language and reading. We read, our outlook changes. We're happy where we used to be mad.
You know, it's kind of interesting. Sometimes these kids like Daquan are kind of put off and considered that they have this mysterious learning disability when in actuality they just need to be tutored consistently and in a program.
Down and try to read.
You would sit down and try?
With my cousin.
And you would try to read with her?
Yeah.
And could you do that, or was it really too difficult for you?
Difficult.
Difficult? Yeah.
Now it's not difficult.
Now
it's fun.
Now it's fun. Did you enjoy tutoring?
It was the best.
Right? Go.
Can bake, like to
Here's your first word. You decide which vowel it goes under.
claw, leak, giraffe.
Okay, I'm just saying, hear all the sounds in them.
Teach, seaweed, Sunday.
How would you say that? I consonant says. That's right. Tile.
Alpha zig.
What kind of syllable is it?
Close.
All right, make it open.
Clay, sleep.
James, do you hear?
It's the O.
Excellent, now what A.
Sheep. His ears droop.
What kind of syllable is that one?
Open. Cheek, soak, and his tail droop.
Okay, so what's the difference between closed and open syllable?
There's not a consonant at the end, and there's a consonant at the end.
Very good.
Oh, 19.
High five.
What's the situation today?
He reads a lot better now. We see a big difference. He's more just acceptable. He's more just open-minded about everything. So we get along better. And now he gets along better with everybody else because he's not as angry or not as frustrated. So.
In a grocery store, she'll say, we got to buy one because we can get one free. When she's playing piano, she's singing because she can read the words. When she's in the car, she tells us where we are, and she's much more social.
It's got an adjustable shoulder strap, dual nozzle settings, and a constant pressure system.
Did he read that? He was capable of learning how to read. How do you feel now, Spot?
Just like everybody else. Yes. Oh, can read.
She's got a confidence and self-esteem level that she didn't have before.
And to see her now with a smile on her face and a smile in her heart.
You know, I can read much better now, and my life is so much better because of it, and I'm really happy that I can.
This is the true story about a very brave dog. His name was Balto. The year was 1925. Balto lived in Nome, Alaska. Nome was a frontier town. Most of the year it was buried under ice and snow. In winter there was no way to travel through all the ice, that ice and snow. Train or bus or car. The only way to travel in